Happy Thursday, everyone. This is Escape Radio, and I'm your host, Frankie Aki. The common theme running through this week's titles is loss. Love lost, innocence lost, or the loss of a friend. Of course, we're living in a time when we're dealing with profound losses of life, living, and community. So perhaps these works can help us just a little to reflect on the unrelenting element of human existence. And maybe they can shed some light on how to move through such a moment. So with that said, let's escape.
Turns on me, turns against me, and I fall into the unknown, where I haven't before. All I want is to go on. I swear that I can make it go. I keep trying to hold on to my love with no control. When I keep
The album for this week is Are You in Love by Basia Bulat. This is a character who's at a crossroads, where she must ask herself, what am I looking for? So much of the time we seem to be running toward one thing while away from another. She finds herself in a desperate situation in which she's avoiding the hard questions. Questions about the world, love, and about herself. She holds the past up to the present, hoping to somehow reflect the light of the good times onto the shadow of the not-so-good. What was once exciting and irresistible is now cold and waning. In the beginning, love fools us with its rhythm and melody and its illusion of permanence. But inevitably, we're confronted with meaninglessness yet again. Only this time, it's crueler than ever.
it said it was for love.
When the sun is setting, there's no catching up to it. It completes its cycle without our permission, and when it's gone, it leaves us in the blue and then in the black. She was running from the black as fast as she could, but she would be reminded that time makes fools of us all. With that heartache and with that restlessness, she has to make it to the other side of those dark waters, the mass between her and the rest of her life. And what will she find on the other end? This is a journey she must travel alone because it's too private. She owns the pain and the wisdom that result from it, and true permanence, if she perseveres, are perspective and philosophy, which in addition to clarity, inspire many more, tougher questions. Are You in Love was released on March 27th, 2020 by Secret City Records. And here's one more. The single for this week is Half Silences by Loma. What are there in the spaces between our words to one another? Do they consist of things we want to say but can't, or things we need to say but are afraid to let out? Are we withholding our true feelings for somebody in that moment's hesitation, or is it our own self-esteem? The rhythm of this song is like a steady heartbeat in the middle of a rainy night. The screen door open with just two people inside whose fates are inextricably linked. Fixation and anticipation, the holding on to of a lover's words that attempt to communicate the entirety of their feelings, but which fail at every turn. And you need those half silences to calibrate your sense of who you are, who they are, and to reassess the relationship between the two of you and practicality. For love to be a puzzle you must solve rather than something you just fall into when it comes around. Will our fate be determined in the stillness of the night, in those half silences, or by the words we speak past one another? Half Silences was released on August 25th, 2020 by Sub Pop Records. Yeah. The movie this week is House of Hummingbird, directed by Bora. This is a 2018 film out of Korea, but it got its US release just earlier this summer. And thank God it did, because otherwise I wouldn't have known about it. This is the best film I've seen this year, certainly the best drama, and the first film in a very long time to change me. Yes, this movie changed me, if only for a day or two, because I found it so deeply personal. It touches on a theme that was integral to my childhood, and it's set in the mid-90s during my formative years. But enough about me. This film is about a girl named Yoon-hee, an 8th grader who goes through the most tumultuous year of her life due to problems at home, with a boy, and with friends who come in and out of her life. One ray of hope is her bond with a tutor, Miss Kim, who proves to be an escape from the ubiquitous assault from unforgiving parents and teachers. I suppose the spine of the film is this young girl's confrontation with loss. An introverted, unassuming girl, Yoon-hee is raised in a tyrannical household in which children are defeated and broken by their parents in the name of discipline and honor. She sees the toll her father's abuse takes on her brother and sister, and Yoon-hee seeks refuge in the outside world. But I'm sure at least some of us remember a time in our childhoods when we didn't want to go home, only to have every other door closed on our faces.
터벅 손 묻은 산을 헤매고 다녔다오 터벅 터벅 잔소주에 취해 헤매어 다녔다오.
Like all great works of art, this film too is, at its heart, about perseverance. Will she break under all this pressure, all this loss and injustice, or will this little bird get to keep who she was, who she is, and perhaps who she can one day become? Maya Angelou knew why the caged bird sings, and so does Yoon-hee. Intrinsically structured and painstakingly detailed, House of Hummingbird is an extraordinarily moving film for every kid who believed, endured, and dreamed against the odds. House of Hummingbird was released in the US on June 26, 2020 by Wellgo USA Entertainment. I really hope you see this film. Here's another clip to take us out, and I'll talk to you next week.
이번 음악은 김지환과 김은희의 120일 기념송입니다. 물론 중간에 쉬긴 했지만 그래도 120일은 120일입니다.